My friend, let me begin this chapter with a simple truth. No man can become truly wealthy or even financially secure until he develops the habit of saving. Not once, not sometimes, but consistently until it becomes as natural as breathing. We're not talking about luck. We're not talking about big breaks or high income. I've seen men with massive salaries go bankrupt, and I've seen humble wage earners become millionaires. The difference? One built the habit of saving, the other didn't. Let me make this crystal clear. Saving is not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and what you do with it. Because what you keep is what builds your freedom, your security, and your legacy. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I can't afford to save. I'll start when I earn more. When things calm down, I'll get serious about my finances. Let me stop you right there. That mindset is the enemy. The truth is, if you don't build the habit of saving with a small income, you won't do it with a large one. The man who saves from his dollar today will know how to multiply his fortune tomorrow. But the man who spends everything now, he'll spend everything later too, no matter how much he earns. Saving is a mindset before it's a bank balance. It's discipline. It's respect for your future self. It's the act of telling your money, you work for me, you don't control me. When I interviewed the wealthiest men of industry, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Schwab, do you think they got rich by luck? No. They developed the habit of saving early in life. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't always easy. But they understood that every fortune starts with the first seed, and that seed is always savings. Here's the principle. If you cannot manage $100, you will not manage $1 million. Because the habit doesn't change with more money. The numbers just get bigger. The man who spends everything he earns is on the road to poverty, no matter how brilliant he is, no matter how hard he works. Why? Because he is living without leverage. He is vulnerable to every emergency, every downturn, every missed opportunity. But the man who saves, he is building armor. He is buying time. He is creating options. He can invest. He can withstand loss. He can say no to the wrong deal and wait for the right one. That, my friend, is true power. Now let me ask you, what is your current relationship with money? Do you control it, or does it control you? When income comes in, does it go right back out? Are you building a future or just surviving today? If these questions hit hard, good. That means you're ready for change. Because saving is not a matter of income, it's a matter of decision. You can start today with what you have. Even if it's $1 out of every 10, one coin from every handful. That's not small, that's everything. That's the spark. That's the muscle being built. In the next part, we'll break down the mental roadblocks that keep people from saving and how to destroy them. But for now, remember this. Every empire begins with discipline. And every dollar you save is a vote for the life you want to live. Now that we've uncovered the power of saving, we must face the deeper issue, the mindset that prevents most people from ever building wealth. Because if the habit of saving is the engine of prosperity, then your beliefs about money are the steering wheel. Let me tell you something you won't hear in most financial books. If your mind is programmed to spend, fear, or ignore money, no income in the world will save you. That's why the first savings account you need to build is between your ears. Let me ask you, what were you taught about money growing up? Did you hear things like, money doesn't grow on trees? We can't afford that? Rich people are greedy? You'll always struggle? Those phrases may seem harmless, but repeated over time, they become beliefs. And beliefs shape behavior. And behavior shapes your financial destiny. Most people don't even realize it, but they're carrying invisible scripts that sabotage their wealth. If I make more, I'll lose it anyway. I've never been good with money. I'll start saving later when I have more. I deserve this, I worked hard. If I don't spend it now, it'll be gone. Sound familiar? Let me be clear. These beliefs are not your fault, but they are your responsibility. Because until you rewire the way you think about money, no strategy, no raise, no lucky break will ever stick. You'll find a way to lose what you gain. And you'll call it bad luck, but it's not luck, it's programming. So how do we break these chains? Step 1, become aware of your money story. Sit down with a pen and ask, what are my earliest memories about money? Who taught me how to save or spend? What patterns am I repeating today that I saw growing up? You cannot change what you won't face. And when you see the script for what it is, a script, not a fact, you take its power away. Step 2, replace those old beliefs with new ones. Write them, speak them, repeat them daily. Say things like, I respect money and it respects me. I save consistently no matter how small. I control my finances, they don't control me. My savings create freedom, not limitation. I am building wealth with every decision I make. You may not believe them at first, but that's okay. You don't fake belief, you install it through repetition, through evidence, through action. Step 3, shift your identity. Stop calling yourself bad with money. That's not your identity, it's a habit, and habits can change. Start seeing yourself as a builder, a planner, a disciplined steward of wealth. Because when your identity changes, your behavior follows. Step 4, ditch the consumer mindset. This one's big. Most people are trained to spend, buy more, upgrade everything, impress people who don't care. But here's the truth. The habit of saving requires that you stop living for likes and start living for legacy. When you stop needing to show everyone how successful you are, you finally start becoming it. So let me ask you now, what thoughts about money are stealing your future? What stories are keeping you in a cycle of almost enough? What emotional reaction do you have when you hear the word saving? That reaction, that discomfort, that's the very thing you need to work through. Because until your mind believes that saving is empowering, not restrictive, you'll sabotage it again and again. In the next part, we'll dive into the actual mechanics, how to start saving, even if you think you can't. But for now, remember this. Wealth isn't just a numbers game, it's a mindset game. And the day you change your relationship with money is the day your money starts changing your life. Let's get practical. Because maybe you're listening to this thinking, okay, I get it. Saving is important. My mindset matters, but I barely make enough to cover my bills. Where do I even begin? My answer is simple. Right where you are. Because the habit of saving isn't built in abundance, it's built in intention. You don't wait until you have more. You start with what you've got, and you train the muscle. Let me give you something straight from the real world, not some ivory tower. If you can save a dime from every dollar, you are wealthier in mindset than the man who earns 1,000 but spends it all. It's not about size, it's about system, it's about self-respect. It's about the discipline to say, I'm not going to consume everything I touch. I will keep something for my future. Let's break down exactly how to start saving even when your budget feels tight. Step 1. Pay yourself first. This is non-negotiable. Before you pay your bills, before you spend a cent on food, gas, or Netflix, take a portion and set it aside. Even if it's just 5%, even if it's 1. Why? Because this one act rewires your brain. It says, my future matters. You send a message to your subconscious. I am worth protecting. I am building something. This is how empires begin. Step 2. Automate it. Don't rely on willpower. Set up automatic transfers to a savings account the moment your paycheck hits. Out of sight, out of mind, out of reach. Make your savings invisible, so your spending adjusts around what's left, not the other way around. Step 3. Track where your money goes. Most people don't have a saving problem, they have a leaking problem. Money trickles out in small, unnoticeable drips. A coffee here, a subscription there, an impulse click at midnight. Track it for 30 days, every dollar. You'll be shocked at what you find. Then redirect some of those leaks into intentional savings. Step 4. Create a no-matter-what fund. This is your psychological safety net. It's the stash that gives you peace of mind. Start small, 500, then 1, 0, then more. This isn't for vacations or splurges. It's for emergencies only, so when life hits, and it will, you don't spiral. Confidence grows when you know you've got a cushion under your feet. Step 5. Celebrate small wins. Don't wait until you've saved thousands to feel proud. Celebrate that first 20 you didn't spend. That first transfer you didn't cancel. That first week you stuck to your plan. Every win rewires your brain. Every deposit becomes proof. I am the kind of person who saves. And here's something most people never realize. The act of saving changes your identity. It turns you from a consumer into a builder. From someone who chases survival into someone who creates security. From someone who reacts to money into someone who leads it. You don't need to be rich to start saving. But you do need to start saving if you ever want to be rich. So here's your mission. Start today, even if it's just 1. Don't wait for the perfect budget, the perfect income, or the perfect app. Just move, begin, build the habit. In the next part, we'll talk about the compounding power of saving and why small, consistent deposits turn into massive wealth over time. But for now, remember, saving is not about the amount. It's about the message you send to yourself. I am no longer living on the edge. I am building something permanent. Now that you've taken the first steps towards saving, it's time to unlock one of the greatest forces in the universe, not just in finance, but in all of life: compounding. Let me tell you this plainly. Compounding is where small choices become big results, where one drop becomes a river, where one today becomes 10 tomorrow without extra effort, without working more hours, simply through time and discipline. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Why? Because it doesn't care how smart you are, how connected you are, or how lucky you are. It only cares that you start and that you stay consistent. Let me show you the math behind the magic. Imagine you save just 5 a day, the price of a coffee and a snack. That's 150 a month. Now, invest that at a modest return, say 7% a year. In 10 years, you'll have over 25 zero. In 20 years, it becomes 75 zero. In 30 years, over 170 zero. And all you did was save 5 a day. No jackpot, no windfall, just habit, just consistency, just letting time do the heavy lifting. But here's the catch. Compounding only works if you let it. If you interrupt it, cash it out, or stop too soon, you lose the magic. This is where most people fail. They start saving, but they don't stick with it. They rob their own future for short-term comfort. Don't be that person. Be the one who understands that wealth isn't built in days, it's built in decades. And every deposit you make today is buying your future freedom. Let me show you another angle. Saving consistently not only builds wealth, it builds momentum. Each time you make a deposit, you're not just growing your money, you're growing your identity as a builder, a saver, a leader of your financial destiny. That's more powerful than any paycheck, because when you see yourself as someone who creates wealth, you begin making different choices. You stop chasing status and start chasing substance. You stop trying to impress people and start trying to impress your future self. So what does that look like in real life? It looks like saying no to short-term pleasure in favor of long-term gain. It looks like celebrating your 100th deposit with more fire than your 100th purchase. It looks like staying the course when others panic. It looks like sleeping at night knowing your money is working for you even while you rest. That's the freedom compounding brings. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Saving 1 a day beats saving nothing at all. Saving 10 every Friday beats waiting for a raise. It's the habit, not the amount, that creates wealth. And over time, that habit compounds too. Your confidence compounds. Your peace of mind compounds. Your ability to invest in your dreams compounds. So what can you start today that your future self will thank you for? What small, consistent action can you take every week, every month that will build unstoppable momentum? Because the secret of the wealthy isn't magic. It's math. It's habit. It's vision. In the next part, we'll talk about protecting your savings show to avoid the traps and temptations that steal your progress and sabotage your future. But for now, remember, saving doesn't just build money. It builds identity. It builds character. And over time, it builds empires. Let me give you a hard truth most people don't want to hear. It's not enough to save, you must protect what you save. Because just as discipline builds wealth, poor choices can destroy it. And the enemy isn't always budgets, the little leaks, the quiet compromises, the just this once moments. You can save for 6 months straight and undo it in one impulsive weekend. You can build an emergency fund and spend it on something that isn't even close to an emergency. So today, I want to teach you how to defend your savings like your future depends on it, because it does. Let's break down the key threats and how to fight back. 1. Emotional spending. You had a bad day, you're stressed, you're bored, and suddenly a swipe of the card feels like therapy. But here's the truth. Emotions are temporary, consequences are not. You can't solve internal chaos with external purchases. It's a trepanned, your savings pay the price. Fix this by creating a cooling off rule. If you want to buy something over a certain amount, say 50 or 100, wait 24 hours. No exceptions. That pause alone will kill 90% of impulse spending. 2. Lifestyle creep. As income rises, spending rises with it. New job? Time for a nicer car. Bonus check? Let's upgrade the phone, the clothes, the vacation. And suddenly you're still broke, just in fancier shoes. This is how high earners stay poor. You must anchor your lifestyle below your income. Discipline now means options later. Instead of asking, can I afford this? Ask, Is this aligned with my goals? 3. I deserve it thinking. You work hard, you grind, you sacrifice, and then your brain whispers, you've earned this, you deserve it. And maybe you do. But you know what else you deserve? Freedom, peace, options, ownership. Learn to reward yourself in ways that don't undo your progress. Buy a small treat, not a big regret. Celebrate growth, not impulse. 4. Lack of boundaries. You start saving, and suddenly family or friends need a little help. It feels good to say yes, but if you're constantly rescuing others at the expense of your future, you're not being generous, you're being reckless. Learn this phrase. I can't give that right now, but I can support you in another way. True wealth requires clear boundaries. You can't pour from an empty account. 5. No clear purpose. If your savings have no mission, they're easier to raid. A pile of money with no purpose is a temptation. But money labeled emergency fund or investment seed or future freedom carries meaning, and meaning protects it. Name your savings. Give every dollar a job. Purpose builds protection. Now hear me. You're not expected to be perfect. You will slip, you'll overspend, you'll get tempted. We all do. But the goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. It's building a habit of asking, does this move me toward wealth or away from it? Every time you pause and ask that question, you reclaim power. You train the muscle, you build the reflex. In the next part, we'll talk about how to turn your savings into investments so your money starts working for you. But for now, remember, what you save is your seed. What you protect is your future. And what you guard today becomes your freedom tomorrow. You've started saving, you've protected your reserves, now it's time for the next evolution of wealth. Turning your savings into soldiers, making your money go to work even while you sleep. Because saving alone is not the end game, saving is step one. The next step is building something bigger, something that grows without your constant effort. That's where investing comes in. Let me be clear. A savings account is security, but investments are expansion. One protects your present, the other creates your future. You weren't meant to work for money your entire life. You were meant to reach a point where your money starts working for you. That's what the wealthy do differently. They don't just store their dollars, they multiply them. So how do you start investing wisely, especially if you're not a financial expert? Let's break it down. 1. Understand the difference between saving and investing. Saving is short-term. It's liquid. It's low risk. It protects you from emergencies, job loss, and sleepless nights. Investing is long-term. It's growth-focused. It comes with calculated risk but greater reward. You don't invest your rent money. You invest the money you've protected through discipline. 2. Get financially educated before you act. Don't throw your hard-earned savings into something you don't understand. Start simple. Read, ask, learn. Understand basic concepts like compound interest, index funds, dividends, and risk tolerance. No, you don't need to become Warren Buffett. But you do need to know what you're doing, or you'll pay someone else to know for you. 3. Start small, but start. Waiting until you have enough is a lie, fear tells you. Even 100 invested wisely is better than 10 sitting idle for years. The goal is momentum, not perfection. Use beginner-friendly platforms, set up recurring transfers, choose diversified, low-fee funds. What matters most is that you develop the habit of investing, just like saving. 4. Think long-term, always. You're not investing to get rich tomorrow. You're investing to build freedom 5, 10, 20 years from now. That means patience. That means letting your investments ride the waves without panicking. That means trusting time and consistency more than timing the market. Because the market rewards those who stay in the game, not those who try to outguess it. 5. Reinvest your gains. This is where true magic happens. When your investments pay dividends or appreciate in value, don't cash out to celebrate. Reinvest. Let your money compound itself. This is the secret sauce of exponential growth. Money making money on top of money. Now listen closely. Investing isn't just about numbers. It's a mindset shift. It's stepping into a new identity. It's saying, I'm no longer just surviving, I'm strategizing. I'm no longer working just for today, I'm building for generations. And no, you don't need to be wealthy to begin, but you do need to begin to ever become wealthy. So here's the challenge. Set a date this month. Open your first investment account. Choose something simple and safe. Make your first deposit no matter how small. Let that be the moment you stepped into a new role. Investor, wealth builder, visionary. In the next part, we'll talk about how your environment influences your saving and investing habits and how to build a circle that lifts your financial future. But for now, remember, money that just sits will never grow. Money with a mission multiplies. And money that works for you sets you free. Let's take a step back from the dollars and cents for a moment. Because as powerful as habits and strategies are, there's another silent force shaping your financial future, your environment. Not just your physical space, but the people around you. Their values, their habits, their expectations. Because whether you realize it or not, you're absorbing their mindset every single day. Let me be blunt. If you're trying to build wealth while surrounded by people who only know how to spend, you're fighting uphill. If your closest circle mocks discipline, fears investing, and treats money like a curse or a game, you will either shrink to their level or spend all your energy resisting it. That's why one of the most important saving habits has nothing to do with money and everything to do with who you're becoming through association. Here's what I've learned over and over again. We rise to the level of our standards or we fall to the comfort of our surroundings. So let me ask you, do the people around you talk about opportunity or about excuses? Do they respect money or treat it like a toy? Do they encourage your growth or guilt you for not loosening up? Do they invest their time or waste it? Because every time you choose to save instead of spend, to invest instead of indulge, to build instead of impress, you are going against the grain of a consumer-driven culture. And you will need support. You will need people who get it. People who aren't surprised when you say, I'm saving for something bigger. People who see discipline not as boring, but as brilliant. Here's how to shape a wealth-positive environment. 1. Audit your circle. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do need to be honest. Who uplifts your financial goals? Who makes you feel guilty for being smart with money? Start spending more time with people who live the way you aspire to live. 2. Normalize money conversations. In too many circles, talking about money is taboo. But silence breeds ignorance, and ignorance breeds struggle. Talk about saving, talk about investing, talk about budgeting. Not to brag, but to grow. 3. Consume better input. Your environment isn't just people, it's podcasts, books, videos, and media. Fill your feed with content that inspires financial growth, not just consumerism. Replace a shopping app with an investing app. Replace an influencer post with a money mentor's advice. 4. Build or join a community. Find others walking the same path online or offline. Start a savings accountability group. Join an investing forum. Make financial progress a team sport. Because when your tribe respects money, you level up automatically. And remember this, the fastest way to upgrade your life is to upgrade your standards. And the fastest way to upgrade your standards is to upgrade your circle. You don't need to be surrounded by millionaires. You just need to be surrounded by builders. People who are committed to the climb. People who understand that wealth isn't about luck, it's about choice. In the next part, we'll discuss how to stay consistent to make saving and investing not just something you do, but something you live. But for now, remember, you can't outgrow your environment. So make sure it's one that waters your future, not one that drains your roots. You've built the foundation. You've learned how to save, protect, and invest. You've examined your environment and begun to shape it for growth. Now comes the part that separates the wealthy from the wishful. Consistency. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Success with money doesn't come from big wins. It comes from repeated habits. From boring, unsexy, daily decisions done over and over again, especially when no one is watching. Anybody can save for a week. Anyone can feel inspired after a motivational video. But only a few make it a lifestyle. Because the truth is, the real battle isn't about income, it's about identity. Are you becoming the kind of person who manages money well, no matter what season you're in? Let me share what consistency really looks like in the real world. 1. Show up even when it's hard. There will be months when the budget is tight. There will be emergencies, temptations, and bad days. That's when the habit kicks in. That's when your past discipline protects your future. Remember, missing once is human. Missing twice is a pattern. Never let a slip become a slide. 2. Automate everything you can. The more your system relies on willpower, the more fragile it is. Set up automatic savings transfers. Schedule your investments. Take decision fatigue out of the equation because life will always offer you excuses. Systems protect discipline, and discipline creates freedom. 3. Keep your goals in front of you. Out of sight means out of mind. Write down your goals. Revisit them weekly. Visualize the life you're building. A number in a savings account means nothing if you don't emotionally connect with what it's for. Saving for no reason feels like sacrifice. Saving for something bigger feels like strategy. 4. Track your progress. Make your wins visible. Chart how much you've saved this month, this year, since you started. Small progress adds up fast, and seeing it keeps the fire alive. What gets tracked gets repeated. What gets ignored gets forgotten. 5. Keep it flexible, but never optional. Life changes. Your income might shift. Your priorities might evolve. But your commitment to saving should remain. You might adjust the amount, but you don't skip the habit. Just like brushing your teeth, whether you're rich or broke, busy or bored, you do it. No debate. 6. Build in rewards, but earn them. Delayed gratification doesn't mean no gratification. Plan your celebrations. Budget for small indulgences. Enjoy the process, just don't let it derail you. Remember, you're not punishing yourself by saving. You're elevating yourself. Let me put it this way. Anyone can sprint, but wealth is a marathon. It's not about how fast you go, it's about not stopping. Consistency isn't sexy, it's not always exciting. But it's what builds the invisible momentum that eventually turns into something extraordinary. You won't notice it overnight. But one day, you'll look around, and you'll be living in the life you used to only dream about. In the next part, we'll talk about teaching this mindset to others, to lead your family, your children, or your community into a better financial future. But for now, remember this. Discipline isn't what holds you back, it's what sets you free. And what you do daily will determine what you live eventually. You've come far. You've learned to build wealth through discipline, intention, and consistency. But now, a higher calling emerges. To lead others, to teach what you've learned, to multiply impact through example. Because saving doesn't just change your life, it can change your family tree. It can change the next generation. It can break generational patterns of scarcity and replace them with abundance, ownership, and vision. Let me be clear. If you want to change the world, start by changing how the people around you think about money. Let's start with family, especially children. Many people never learned to save because no one taught them. No one modeled it. No one made money feel safe, understandable, or empowering. You have the chance to rewrite that story. Not through lectures, but through example. Not through pressure, but through conversations. 1. Start early. Teach kids the difference between spending, saving, and investing. Let them earn. Let them manage. Let them make small mistakes now so they avoid big ones later. Make saving fun. Make it visual. Use jars, envelopes, or apps designed for learning. When a child sees their savings grow, they learn more than numbers, they learn ownership. 2. Be transparent. You don't need to share every financial detail, but don't hide everything either. Let your family see your discipline. Let them hear your thought process. We're not buying that now because we're saving for something more important. This is why we automate savings. Here's how we decide if something is worth it. Money becomes less mysterious when it's discussed like any other life skill. 3. Normalize boundaries, especially with extended family or friends who may not understand your goals. Be kind but clear. Explain that you're focused on building something long-term, that you value security over appearance. Your courage to set boundaries gives others permission to do the same. 4. Invite others into the journey. Start a savings challenge with friends. Share wins and struggles. Talk about what's working and what isn't. When people see you saving not out of fear, but out of vision, they'll want in. You become a beacon, not a preacher, but a proof. 5. Change the conversation. In many circles, wealth talk is either taboo or toxic. Either it's avoided, or it becomes a brag fest. Break that pattern. Start new conversations. What's the smartest thing you've done with money this year? What's one thing you wish you learned earlier? What goal are you saving for right now? These questions open doors. They create community. They remind people, we're all growing, and none of us are alone. Now, here's the deeper truth. When you save, you're not just storing money. You're modeling possibility. You're saying, it doesn't matter where I started, this is where I'm going. And that message is contagious. In the final part, we'll tie everything together. We'll talk legacy, freedom, and the future you're building with every disciplined decision. But for now, remember, your savings are not just for you. They're for your children, your community, your legacy. Because what you model in private becomes someone else's breakthrough in public. You've made it. Through habits, mindset, discipline, strategy, and purpose, you've learned the art of saving. But before we close this journey, let me remind you of something essential. This isn't about money. Not really. It's about freedom. It's about options. It's about the ability to choose your life instead of having life choose for you. Because the man who saves isn't just preparing for rainy days, she's building sunny ones. He's not hoarding wealth, he's unlocking possibilities. He's not living in fear, he's living in clarity. Let's talk about legacy. When you save, you're sending a message forward in time. To your future self, to your family, to the people who will walk where you've walked. You're saying, I chose intention over impulse. I built when it was easier to consume. I created when it was simpler to coast. That's legacy. And it's not measured by the size of your account, but by the strength of your example. Because someone someday will look at how you lived and think, if they could do it, so can I. Let's talk about liberation. Most people are trapped in a cycle. Earn, spend, stress, repeat. They call it normal. They call it life. But it's bondage with a smile. Saving breaks the cycle. It lets you walk away from jobs that drain you. It lets you say no to toxic deals, environments, or relationships. It gives you room to breathe, to dream, to create. You want to start a business? Savings give you time. You want to travel, pivot careers, care for family? Savings give you power. Because money isn't the goal, freedom is. And savings are the foundation. Now, let me leave you with 5 truths I've learned after decades of studying success. No one drifts into wealth. You either build it or you don't. No one accidentally becomes financially free. Small habits shape big futures. It's not one massive decision, it's 1,000 small ones made with discipline. Excuses are expensive. They'll cost you years, peace, and possibilities. Stop buying them. You don't need permission. You don't need more income, a better background, or a lucky break. You need commitment. You already have enough to start. Right now, today, with what's in your pocket, your account, your mind. So what will you do with everything you've learned? Will this be another feel-good moment that fades? Or will it be the pivot, the one where everything started to change? Remember, the difference between those who dream and those who build is action. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a decision. One that says, I will take control of my money. I will build a future by design, not by accident. I will create freedom for myself and those I love. And with that choice, one deposit at a time, one day at a time, you will create something most people never find. Peace, ownership, independence, legacy. This is the habit of saving. This is the path to freedom. And it starts not someday, but now.